Welcome back, everybody. The point of this video is to just demonstrate really quickly how to load up a sample database so you can see if MySQL is working correctly now that we're finished with the install. This video basically was hot on the heels of completing the install, and this product that I have up on my screen right now, which is called MySQL Workbench, is the primary product that we're going to use to do our coding for this class. It is not the only way to code for MySQL. You can do it in a number of different ways. This is one of my favorite ways to do it. It's a very powerful product. It's free. It works really well, but there are other ways. So the first thing that I'm going to do before I can load up a sample database is I need to connect to my local instance of a database. You will notice that MySQL Workbench automatically detected it. It knows the instance name, MySQL 8.0, right? So it's version 8 of MySQL, that the master account is called root, and that it's on port 3306 like it should be. So it recognizes that it's running. By the way, you can also validate that it's running by right-clicking on your taskbar, bringing up your task manager, getting out of the simple mode. I don't know how to even go back to it, honestly. And bringing up the services tab. And if you scroll down to the M's, you will see MySQL listed here and running, and it will automatically be running. But if there's ever a reason you needed to stop it, you can come in here, right click and stop, or restart, by the way. Or if you want to configure it to not open automatically, you open services and adjust. If you're not familiar with this interface, I would not touch it, right? You can really mess up your machine here, but it also shows you that in the background, your computer is running all of this software that's indicated as running. And some stuff only runs when it's needed. Some stuff automatically starts. And that's kind of the nature of a multitasking operating system. This is all the stuff that's really running in the background on your computer, by the way. All right, so back over to MySQL Workbench. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to connect to that local instance. And when I try to connect, notice what it's doing. It's asking for that password. So hopefully you remember what it was. It'd be terrible if you forgot it already. Sometimes that happens to me, by the way. If you're one of those people that, you're the only person that uses this computer, you know that all the databases you're going to build for school aren't going to contain anything like critical or sensitive or important, you could save the password. I'm going to actually go through the process of doing that because I know that to be the case. I'm not going to be storing like credit card numbers in my database, for example, right? So I'm not really too worried about it. So I'm saving it. And that way, next time it will connect me. Now, this has gone right into kind of like its default mode where, just super quick little tour here. The central window of MySQL Workbench, once you're connected to your database, is where we're going to write our code. So this is the coding window. When we execute a command, we'll hit the lightning bolt, and you notice how I hover and it says execute the specified code or whatever. And then the results of that code running will be displayed down here in the form of like, your command happened, it worked, great, good job, or whatever, or if it didn't, it will also tell you that. Then we also have a couple of panels here, so you can look at some of the panels like the server status, right? Kind of helpful little windows, and what connections you have to the machine, what users are on here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And for the most part, we don't really worry ourselves with this too much, but the stuff is there. The other little tab that you'll probably use more often is the schemas tab, which is right here where I'm hovering my mouse. And this is where we'll see kind of the hierarchy of whatever databases we're going to connect to. So our task right now is to grab one of the sample databases. We got like less than 3 minutes left here. Load it up and take a really quick look. That's all we have time for. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Back over to the unit one folder. I'm not going to use the Sequila database for right now because that one has multiple steps to get it installed. I am instead going to go to the course resources page, and I'm going to grab the My Guitar Shop SQL file. So when you click this, this will basically allow you to download an SQL file. And I already have it, as you can see, so it's giving me the little number 1 after it. But basically, we're going to import this code into MySQL Workbench and then execute it, right? If you want to take a quick look at it with a text editor, feel free to do that. So I'm going to use, well, I guess I'm going to use brackets for that just for now, just once. Thank you. But this is what's inside of it. So it's all the commands to create the database, build all the tables with the right data types, and insert all the information into the database. And it's all scripted in one file. Okay, so that's what's in the file if you're curious. Back over to MySQL Workbench. So I'm going to go here in the toolbar, and I'm going to open a SQL script file in the new query tab. So it's the second button on the toolbar. It's just right there. Then I'm going to go locate that file from my download folder. So I'm going to grab this one, create My Guitar Shop SQL. I'm going to open it. And then really all this is doing is reading a text file, folks, just plain text. You can peruse it and check out all the commands. You'll be learning how to do all this stuff, by the way. It's mysterious now, but I assure you, 13, 12 weeks from now, whatever, you guys will have a better understanding. Now that this is here, we're going to hit the execute button and hope for the best. So here goes, right? And you can see down here in the output window, and it happened super, super fast. It went through and gave us the results of all the commands that were in the SQL file. You notice I have a couple with little yellow marks because one of the first commands is, hey, if this database is already there, get rid of it, and we're going to create it again. Right, so that was the first command. There was another one here. It's saying, oh, we did it, but the command is deprecated, so we're going to remove that. So this is an old database file. Regardless, it's there. So now if you come over here and make sure you click on the schemas tab in that left panel, and then what we're going to do is we're going to hit the little refresh button there. I think that's basically what that is. And you'll notice that My Guitar Shop now popped up here in the left sidebar. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the little expander arrow. And then I'm going to take a look at all the different tables. We have addresses, administrators, categories, customers, order items, orders, and products, right? So these are all the tables in the database. I'm going to click on the products table, right? And then I'm going to hit the little expander. And if I want, I can look at all the columns. So I can see what columns are there, or the indices, or the keys, or the triggers. But really what I want to do right now, and you notice when I hover over the title of the table, there's a little icon here on the side that will allow me to look at the data inside the table. So what you're seeing now on my screen is the information that's embedded into that table. So if you have gotten this far, you've loaded up a database and you're looking at some of the information inside of it. Now I do have to stop here because we've run out of time. We will do the next part of this next week. So this video ends here. And if anybody's watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, even though this is intended for my students. Other people find it helpful too. All right. We'll see you all next week.